The day you stop fearing life, you become unbreakable. Have you ever noticed that life never asks for your permission before it changes? One day, everything seems stable. The next day, the job is gone. The relationship ends. The money disappears. The people you trusted betray you. The body grows older. The mirror reflects someone you barely recognize. And suddenly you realize something that most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid. Nothing is permanent. Not your success. Not your comfort. Not your possessions. Not even your own existence. Most people spend their lives fighting this truth. They cling. They resist. They complain. They ask, why is this happening to me? But the Stoics asked a completely different question. They asked, why should I expect life to be any different? This single shift in perspective changes everything. Because the moment you stop expecting life to be easy, you become stronger than most people will ever be. Welcome back to Stoic Gateway. Today, we are going deeper than motivation, deeper than success, deeper than discipline. Today, we are talking about becoming the kind of person that no storm can destroy. And if you're ready to become mentally unbreakable, comment below, I will not be broken. Type it now. Because words become commitments, and commitments become identity. Let's begin. Imagine for a moment that your entire life is a ship. For years, the sea is calm. The sky is blue. The wind is gentle. Everything feels predictable. Then suddenly a storm appears. Massive waves, violent winds, dark clouds. Most people panic. They curse the ocean. They blame the weather. They demand fairness. But the Stoics understood something profound. The purpose of a ship is not to stay in the harbor. The purpose of a ship is to survive the storm. Likewise, the purpose of your life is not comfort. It is growth, and growth requires resistance. Think about every person you admire, every great leader, every philosopher, every innovator, every warrior, every saint, every hero. What made them extraordinary? It wasn't comfort. It wasn't convenience. It wasn't ease. It was struggle. The obstacle became the path. The hardship became the teacher. The pain became the forge. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Read that again. What stands in the way becomes the way. The challenge you're facing right now may not be blocking your growth. It may be creating it. The breakup, the rejection, the loneliness, the failure, the uncertainty. These may be the very experiences shaping you into the person you are meant to become. But most people never discover this truth because they spend all their energy trying to escape discomfort. They want the reward without the sacrifice, the confidence without the fear, the strength without the struggle, the wisdom without the suffering. Life doesn't work that way. Nature doesn't work that way. A tree grows strong because it faces the wind. A diamond forms because it experiences pressure. Steel becomes useful because it survives fire. And human beings become powerful because they endure difficulty. You are no different. The challenge you face today is preparing you for a responsibility you cannot yet see. That difficult season is developing muscles that success alone could never create. This is why Stoicism is not merely a philosophy. It is psychological armor. Because Stoicism teaches us something that modern society desperately wants us to forget. You do not control what happens. You control how you respond. This may sound simple, but it is perhaps the most liberating idea ever discovered. Think about how much suffering comes from trying to control things beyond your influence. Other people's opinions, economic conditions, politics, social media, the past, the future, the weather, the actions of others. Most people spend their lives fighting battles they can never win. Then they wonder why they feel exhausted. The Stoics recognized a fundamental truth. There are only two categories: things you control, things you do not. And the moment you focus exclusively on what you control, your power returns. Suddenly the world becomes simpler. You cannot control whether people respect you, but you can control whether you act honorably. You cannot control whether someone loves you, but you can control whether you love with integrity. You cannot control whether life is fair, but you can control whether you remain virtuous. This is freedom. Not freedom from difficulty, freedom from emotional slavery. The average person becomes a prisoner of circumstances. The Stoic becomes a master of response, and that distinction changes everything. Let me ask you something. How many times have you delayed your life because conditions were not perfect? How many dreams remain unfinished because fear convinced you to wait? How many opportunities have slipped away because you wanted certainty? The Stoics understood something uncomfortable. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Right now. This moment. This breath. This decision. Seneca warned us repeatedly about the illusion of tomorrow. Most people treat life as if it is guaranteed, as if there will always be another chance, another year, another opportunity, another conversation, another sunrise. But life makes no promises, which is precisely why every moment becomes precious. The Stoics practiced something called memento mori. Remember that you will die. Modern society finds this idea disturbing. The Stoics found it liberating, because when you remember death, you stop wasting life. Petty arguments lose their importance. Ego loses its grip. Fear loses its power. Excuses lose their credibility. Suddenly, what matters becomes clear. Suddenly, your priorities sharpen. Suddenly, you realize that waiting is the most dangerous habit of all, because life is happening right now. Not next year, not after success, not after approval, not after perfection. Right now, this moment. And here's something most motivational speakers won't tell you. Your greatest enemy is not failure. It is comfort. Comfort is seductive. Comfort whispers. Comfort says stay where you are. Comfort says don't risk embarrassment. Comfort says don't challenge yourself. Comfort says settle. And millions of people listen. They spend decades inside invisible cages, not because someone trapped them, because comfort convinced them to stay. But growth never lives inside comfort. Greatness never lives inside comfort. Transformation never lives inside comfort. Every meaningful achievement requires stepping beyond the familiar, which is why fear is often a compass. The direction you fear most may be the direction you need most. Think about that. The conversation you're avoiding, the opportunity you're postponing, the challenge you're resisting, the dream you're afraid to pursue. That may be the exact path leading toward your growth. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. And every courageous act expands your identity. Every courageous act tells your subconscious, I am stronger than I thought. I am capable. I can survive. I can adapt. I can overcome. Eventually, these actions accumulate, and something remarkable happens. You stop seeing yourself as fragile. You stop seeing yourself as helpless. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances. You begin seeing yourself as someone who can handle whatever life brings. That is true confidence. Not arrogance, not ego. Confidence built through evidence. Confidence built through endurance. Confidence built through experience. Confidence built through surviving storms. And once you develop that kind of confidence, life changes, because the greatest transformation is not external. It is internal. The world may remain chaotic. Problems may continue. Challenges may persist. But something inside you becomes immovable. You become the calm center within the storm. You become the rock that waves cannot break. You become the person who no longer fears life because you have learned that you can survive it. And that realization is priceless. If you're still watching, comment, "The storm is making me stronger." Because the strongest people are not those who avoid difficulty. They are those who use difficulty as fuel. Before we end this first part, remember this. Life was never meant to be easy. The storms were never a mistake. The setbacks were never proof that you're on the wrong path. They were the training ground. They were the preparation. They were the fire designed to reveal who you truly are. Because deep inside you, there is a version of yourself that has not yet been awakened. A version that is stronger than fear. A version that is greater than excuses. A version that refuses to surrender when life becomes difficult. And every challenge you face is calling that person forward. So when you leave this video today, don't ask for a lighter burden. Become stronger shoulders. Don't ask for fewer obstacles. Become more resilient. Don't ask life to be easier. Become harder to break. Because one day, you'll look back on the very struggles that nearly made you quit, and you'll realize they were the reason you became the person you are proud to be. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe to Stoic Gateway, because we're building a community of people who refuse to be victims of circumstance and choose instead to become masters of their own minds. And now, I want to hear from you. What is the biggest challenge you are facing right now that you refuse to let defeat you? Leave it in the comments below. Read through the comments and encourage someone else who may be fighting a battle in silence. Because sometimes one sentence can change a person's entire day. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Meditate on those words.